Hello and welcome. Every now and then a discovery comes along that adds a crucial new piece to a puzzle scientists have been working on for decades. Well, today, we are diving into one of those moments, a major breakthrough that for the first time ever lets us see the quantum magic behind one of physics' most mind-bending phenomena. So, let me just ask you this. What if technology had a cheat code? Imagine a world where electricity could flow forever with absolutely zero energy lost. We're talking about power grids that are perfectly efficient, computers that are unbelievably fast, and electronics that don't waste a single drop of power. This isn't science fiction. It's the very real promise of a weird quantum state called superconductivity. At its heart, superconductivity is, well, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a perfect flow of electricity without any resistance, without any friction at all. You see, when you get certain materials incredibly cold, something amazing happens. Their electrical resistance just, poof, vanishes. A current can literally flow forever. But how? That's where the real story begins. To really get why this new discovery is such a big deal, we have to take a step back and look at the old rulebook for superconductivity. It's a powerful theory that's been around for 70 years, but as we're about to see, it didn't quite tell the whole story. Okay, so rewind to the 1950s. Three physicists, Bardeen, Cooper, and Schrieffer, came up with what we now call BCS theory. It was so revolutionary, so good at explaining this bizarre phenomenon that it earned them the Nobel Prize in 1972. And for the better part of a century, this has been the fundamental explanation for how superconductivity works. So what's the core idea of this Nobel-winning theory? It's all about teamwork. Electrons, which normally push each other away, actually do the exact opposite in these super cold conditions. They team up into these things called Cooper pairs. You can kind of think of them like pairs of dancers in a giant ballroom. By pairing up, they can just glide through the material structure without bumping into anything, creating that perfect zero-resistance flow. But here's the thing. Even a theory that wins a Nobel Prize can have some gaps. For years, physicists had this nagging feeling that this brilliant theory was maybe missing a key piece of the puzzle. So, what on earth could be missing from a theory that stood strong for 70 years? I mean, if it explained how the pairs form, what didn't it explain? Well, the mystery wasn't about the pairs themselves, but about how they all behaved together as a huge crowd of dancers. And here are the specifics. First, scientists always knew BCS theory was an approximate framework, a fantastic sketch, but not the final detailed blueprint. And here's the kicker. It told us absolutely nothing about how these electron pairs interact with each other. The theory just assumed all the pairs were moving around totally independently, scattered randomly through the material, as if they were completely oblivious to all their neighbors on the dance floor. So, to find that missing piece, scientists needed a whole new way of looking at the problem. They had to figure out how to get a camera inside that quantum ballroom to finally watch how the electrons were really dancing. And honestly, this quote from the lead researcher, Tarek Yefsah, just nails it. He said, "BCS theory gives us a view from outside the ballroom. Our approach is like taking a wide-angle camera inside." That perfectly captures the leap forward here. The old theory was like hearing muffled music from the street. This new experiment is like walking right onto the dance floor. So, how in the world did they do it? It was just incredibly clever. You can't just stick a microscope inside a piece of super cold metal. So instead, they built a model. They took a gas of lithium atoms, which, believe it or not, follow the same quantum rules as electrons, and they cooled it down to a temperature that's just hard to even imagine. Then, they used a brand new imaging technique to take direct snapshots of the atoms pairing up. And when I say incredibly cold, I really mean it. They cooled this gas to just a few billionths of a degree above absolute zero. That is the coldest possible temperature in the entire universe. And it's only under these insane conditions that this hidden quantum dance finally reveals itself. All right, so they got the camera inside the ballroom, the moment of truth. What did it reveal? Well, it showed a beautiful, synchronized dance that the old theory had missed completely. Here it is, the stunning finding. The pairs are not independent at all. They aren't just randomly scattered around. No, instead, they move in a synchronized dance, where the position of every single pair is directly connected to all the other pairs around it. So this is the key difference right here. The old theory, that view from the outside, It saw a chaotic floor of random dancers. But the new view from the inside shows us that the dancing couples are actually paying very close attention to each other. They're actively maintaining their distance, making sure not to crowd each other, creating this big, collective, correlated motion. And this wasn't just a one-time thing. To be sure, theoretical physicists at the Flatiron Institute ran these incredibly complex computer simulations of the exact same system. And the result? Their models perfectly matched what the experiment saw, proving that yes, this synchronized dance, the separation between the pairs, is a real and fundamental part of how superconductivity works. Okay, so this is a fascinating discovery in physics for sure. But why does it matter for the rest of us? Well, because understanding the complete rulebook is the absolute key to engineering a revolutionary super future. You see, the holy grail in this field is creating what are called room temperature superconductors, materials that can do this magic trick without needing to be cooled to insane temperatures. By finally having a more precise and complete theory, a better blueprint, scientists now have much better tools to actually design and search for these game-changing materials. And the applications, if we pull this off, they would be world-changing. Seriously, imagine power grids that don't lose a single watt of energy. Supercomputers that operate with unbelievable efficiency. All of our electronic devices, totally lossless. Even more powerful medical scanners. This deeper understanding brings us one huge step closer to making that a reality. So, for 70 years, we knew the dancers were pairing up. We just never knew they were dancing in a coordinated formation. This discovery gives us a fundamentally new way to think about this. And it leaves us with this one really tantalizing thought. Now that we can finally see the dance in all its amazing detail, can we maybe learn how to change the music? Can we learn how to control it?